Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and a lot of you have been asking me for some German sporty cars. You want me to feature a German sporty car, not only review it, but also get behind the wheel. And guess what? Once again, Walker Ford has stepped up to the plate. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, hold on, Walker Ford, we want German. Well, guess what? They do take traded in vehicles, and this is a wonderful pre-owned 2015 BMW M235i. Very, very well done car. So let me just give you a little bit of history about this car in particular. So when BMW came out with this car in 2015, it was not something that was a full-blown M car, because whenever that M logo is associated with a BMW, that means motorsports. That means underneath the hood, underneath these fenders, underneath the back of the car is a bunch of race-tuned, race-bred engine tuning, suspension tuning, wheels, brakes, the whole nine yards. This is not so much so. You're going to get some of that exclusive M styling and the M logo on that rear end of the car and all the other places, but it still, at the end of the day, has the same suspension. It has an open differential, just like a standard 235 has. Another thing, if you're not aware of BMW, now I know you might pull up behind a BMW or maybe a Mercedes Benz, and you look at the name of it and you notice that the name of the car has like a bunch of letters and numbers. And then you're sitting there and you're saying, is that an algebra problem? Am I supposed to follow the order of operations? No. Those letters and numbers mean something. And on this car, it is an M style car, but the two at the beginning of the name means it's a 2 Series. And what that means in BMW speak is how large of a car. So the 2 Series, as you can see, it's a very small, tight, nimble car. If you were to go into a BMW dealership and get a 5 Series or a 7 Series, those cars are going to be larger cars, larger displacement engines, all that good stuff. So that's exactly why we have that designation on the back of this BMW. But let's go ahead and talk about the front, because I really love the aggressive styling. My cameraman, Chris, as soon as we rolled up in this, he was like, wow, that looks really aggressive. I love the lower air intakes down here. I love the way that the grill is open. No crazy front spoiler or anything like that, any kind of splitter. It's very well done, very tidy, something you could drive every single day and not have to worry about bumping it on anything. There's those traditional. This is something that goes hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. These are those kidney grill shape design for a BMW. So BMWs, if you go all the way back to their early beginning, have always had grills shaped in this basic kidney bean design, and that's something that lets you know it's a BMW. Here's that second thing, the traditional logo. Now, if you've ever wondered why do they have the blue and the white on their logo, that has to deal with the Bavarian flag. This is a German car company. Bavarian flag is blue and white, and they bring that in. And that's what I love about cars. I love the performance. I love the style. I love the people behind them. I also love the logos. A lot of these logos, they have a lot of meaning to them. So hopefully that's something maybe you didn't know. Another thing that I like to see on a lot of newer cars is where they're going with headlights. Now, with BMWs, they have that wonderful halo lighting around the headlight, but these are all LED. And not only do LEDs going to light up the road in front of you better, but because it's a lighter, smaller bulb, you don't have to have these big, huge housings. So I like the way that the housings are nice and small and they make it look aggressive. This has adaptive headlights. What that means is when you turn the steering wheel, the headlights are going to move with the steering wheel so you can see around the turn at night. Those are very, very nice features. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side here, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I like. Very, very nice style wheel. Not a huge wheel, 18-inch wheel. If you went into a BMW dealership to get like an M2, that would have a larger wheel. So this has 18-inch wheel. It does have the BMW M series logo on the wheel, the brake caliper, and I'm telling you, I counted. There's about a million, no, actually like 1,000,001 M logos around this car. But it's a nice style, and it really works well with the black, the gunmetal gray with the black. But like I said, this brake rotor, that suspension behind the wheel, that's all going to be your standard affair. There's no actual M sports into that. But you know what? This is a great compromise if you're not looking for something that's a total track aggressive weapon that you're going to use and do track days a lot. This is something that you could do and enjoy it on a twisty road, but you could actually drive this every day, no issues whatsoever. Let's go ahead and continue. Now, this mirror, I really, really love the color. At first, I didn't like it, but I like the way it breaks up the black. It's really great the way that they're engineering the turn signals into the mirror. Gives it a nice, clean look. You have this one comes with a sunroof. A lot of BMW owners love sunroofs. And you can see just how tight and clean the lines are of this car. Two-door, very well done. You know, what's wonderful about this car is that BMW is going back to those early roots of making it a neural connection with the car. You know, back in the 80s and the 90s, it seemed that you think it and the car would do it. As we went into the 2000s, BMW sort of moved away from that. Well, I promise you, they have listened to the enthusiasts, they have listened to the owners, and they are putting more of that neural connection back into their cars. Let's check out the back. I really, really love the rear of the car. I like this specific spoiler that they put up here. Not a big aggressive thing on the trunk. It's a nice kick up here. Very well done. It is functional and it gives it an aggressive look. There's our another M logo, the 235i. Remember, this is a 2 Series. Very, very well done. And I really like the lower portion of the bumper with the twin exhaust outlets. There's not a bunch of crazy diffusers underneath. It's a very, very clean look, very aggressive look. The outside's great. Let's go ahead and check out that 3-liter turbocharged engine that's lurking underneath the hood. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here's the heart of this BMW M235i. That's a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged. So when we say inline, what we're talking about is that your pistons are going to be in a line from front to back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One thing to be aware of, I know that in a lot of marketing that BMW is doing, they're using a word called twin power turbos. Do not be fooled by that. That does not mean that the car is twin turbocharged. Those models are just single turbocharged, but believe it or not, they are fooling some people into thinking that the cars have twin turbos, but they do not. This one has a single turbocharger, intercooled. You're looking at 335 horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 4.2 seconds, because this one, the engine is mated to BMW's wonderful slick shifting 8-speed automatic transmission, which we are going to check that out once we take this for a little spin. But you can see very clean German engineering, the way that the engine is placed. They did put another M logo there, that M Performance logo. And like I said, that has different meaning with this car compared to a BMW M2. But very clean, always neat with BMW's work with their engine compartments. But at the end of the day, this really is a performer of a car, because what you're looking at is a rear wheel drive, 3,500 pounds. So it's got a really good power to weight ratio. And because of that smaller size, you're going to have a lot of fun behind the wheel. Speaking about behind the wheel, let's go check out the inside of this BMW M235i. All right, guys, we're inside this BMW M235i. You got to say it slowly, or sometimes you'll get tongue-tied with some of these names on these BMWs and Mercedes and whatnot. But like I said, now you know at least what it means. But there's really not a whole lot for me to say when it comes to the quality. BMW is known for great interiors. If you look in the door panel, I really like how they keep it simple. Black, it's got the nice black leather armrest. And I do like the silver accent on the door pull. Now, if you're not a fan of faux carbon fiber, it might turn you off, but it does break up the black a lot. If Chris can show you, my camera guy, the tweeter, this does have a Harman Kardon sound system, which if you know anything about stereo systems and the stereo industry, Harman Kardon is huge with great quality. I do like the simplicity of the seats, very low bolstering. And this is going to be another difference between this and like an M2. The M2 is going to have seats that are much more aggressively bolstered to keep you in when you're doing a track day or an autocross. This, though, has just enough. They're soft without being too firm at the same time. And I like that. It's a very comfortable seat. I feel like I could drive this car for a few hundred miles and not have any issues. If you look inside, one thing that I do like about BMWs, they have a very small dash, so it's not very deep. There's some more of that faux carbon fiber to break it up. And it's okay if you're okay with that. For me, it's fine. I personally would have went with just flat out silver, but that's me. Now, this is one thing that BMW is known for is their controls with the rotary dial. I really like how intuitive it is. And if you look up here, they have a beautiful screen where you can actually switch through a bunch of things. And it's very, very easy to use. I didn't have to sit in this car and try to figure out how to use this rotary dial. If I want to go into navigation, I just select it. It comes up. I could go ahead and hit maps, and then you could zoom in, you could zoom out, you could go all over the place. I do really like features like that where it's nice and easy to use. I feel like some navigation systems and just infotainment systems are ridiculous. Very, very clean on the radio controls and the AC controls. I do like the way they have the nice digital readout here to let you know blower speed and what the temperature is. It is a dual climate. One thing I always like about BMWs too is this is where you lock and you unlock the doors. Kind of cool. So if you ever get a BMW and you're trying to lock the doors, that's where it's located. And then the steering wheel. Very, very well done steering wheel. This is an M steering wheel. It does have another logo to let you know. Nice and round. Very nice touches with the leather. And I love the metal finish on the plastic trim. Now, one thing I want to point out, and I wish more manufacturers were doing this, if you're going to get a transmission that is automated and it comes with the paddles, I like the combination of the metal look to the plastic here along with the black. It really makes it look like a higher quality piece. And then if Chris could swing around the camera, you have your traditional speedometer, tachometer. What's interesting is that this gauge here, so here's your tachometer. This gauge here is a voltmeter. One thing I don't see anywhere is an actual temperature gauge. And just from a car standpoint, that kind of blows my mind. And that's just another sign that this is not a true M car. A true M car, you're going to get all that extra instrumentation to let you know what's going on. Here's that 8-speed automatic transmission. You can go up and down the gears manually with the shifter itself, or you could use those paddles, and I'll show you that. Like I said, at the end of the day, 0 to 60 in about 4.2 seconds. Rear-wheel drive. So if you're used to front-wheel drive cars and you want something a little bit more fun where you can use the rear end of the car to pivot around turns and stuff, this will get it done. Here, driver-wise, it's a really comfortable place to be. Speaking of being in this seat, the driver's seat, let's go ahead and take it for a spin. All right, guys, we're inside this 2015 BMW M235i. Like I said, inline 6, turbocharged, 335 horsepower. This isn't a slouch. 0 to 60 in about 4.2 seconds, quarter mile in about 12.9. Right off the bat, like I said earlier, the seating position is excellent. I really like the way they have everything laid out. We have it in sport mode so that I could utilize the shifting paddles and to quicken up that acceleration. I'm gonna go ahead and step on it. It goes all the way to red line. I like the shifts. Very, very nice. It's very progressive the way that the power builds in. Another thing that you notice with it being a BMW is that when it comes to sound deadening material, they definitely are keeping that outside out and the inside in. And that's one thing that I noticed that with my camera guy earlier, Chris, he was saying that when we were doing the outside with the recording of the exhaust, that there were a lot of pops and bangs and burbles that were coming out the back. I didn't even get to hear it because of how quiet it is in the cabin. So I think maybe for me personally, being the performance car enthusiast that I am, I would like some of that sound brought into the car. I know some of you who are really diehard BMW people that really like that quiet atmosphere are probably saying I'm nuts, but like I said, for me, I would just like a little bit more of that outside sound from the exhaust and the engine, try to keep everything else out. But the car is very, very nimble. I'm gonna go ahead and go around this turn right here with the rear wheel drive. It really pulls nicely. It just has a progressive feel to it, and I really, really like that. I'm gonna go ahead and step on the brakes a little bit. It really, brake pedal, you're not getting those big, huge Brembos like you would on the M2. You're getting really good brakes. They're progressive and they don't grab. And that's something you want to look for when you're
buying a performance car is you don't want anything to be too touchy, because if you ever do take a car like this to an autocross event or a track day, or you're just lucky enough to have some really nice twisty roads by your home, you want the car to be stable. And for it to be stable, it can't be twitching. You don't want things to be super sensitive, and I like that about this particular car. But with it down, I mean, the downshifts, very, very nice. The way it just pulls the red line. I'm very impressed with what BMW has done with their turbocharged engine. Like I said, this has a single turbocharger. If you are looking at any newer material, if you see the word twin power turbo, that does not mean that it's a twin turbocharged engine. That just means that they're using some marketing and some wording effect to get you excited about the power of the car. The shifts, I really, really like how crisp the shifts are. The feel of the paddles, they're a good size. I do like the way that they're mounted on the steering wheel. And they're very easily reachable. I mean, I'm rolling out here and very, very easily done. Very easy to look around. Even with the back window, I'm not seeing a lot of blind spots, which is surprising because I thought that was something that was going to be definitely in this car. One thing that I've noticed right off the bat, just driving this at a steady 60 miles an hour, very rock stable, very comfortable. These seats, like I said, they have some good support, not too overly supportive, like maybe like the M2 seats where you would have more bolstering. And this 8-speed automatic really allows you to be in the perfect gear for the power band where you want to be, so you don't have to wait for that turbo to spool up. You just drop down a gear and go. And I'll show you here. I'll slow down just a little bit. Right now I'm in 6th. I'm going to go ahead and drop down to 4th, and you'll see. I mean, it just pulls right 6,000, 6,500, right up to red line. Nice, quick shift. Not really a lot of noise or anything going with it. Wind noise, obviously, with it having a sunroof, there is a little bit of wind noise, but the sound deadening, like I said, BMW really did the business side of it.
All right, guys, so it's been one hell of a day here at Walker Ford. I want to give them a huge thank you, especially Tracy and Benji and the rest of the people at Walker Ford. Great bunch of people. I really feel like I'm part of the family here with Raiti's Rides and Walker Ford. And they're always curious what you guys are wanting to see, because they want to try to make it happen, whether it's a Ford product or some other brand and type of vehicle that they have at their wonderful dealership in Clearwater. But, you know, at the end of the day, this I really feel is a car that is going to be great for somebody who wants that little extra something, but you don't need the full track ready version of it. It's a great car to drive every day, this 235i, M235i. Lots of power, lots of style, and just something that you could enjoy on a regular basis. But if these are the types of cars you like to see on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit subscribe, I don't know what you're waiting for. This thing is growing, and I'm so grateful for all of you who have subscribed and who have been watching. But if you have not hit that subscribe button, tell me what I need to do. What do I need to do to get you to hit that subscribe button? Because I'm telling you, once you do, you'll be part of this journey. And I don't know where the hell it's going, but it's going one way, and that's up. If you haven't checked out RaitisRides.com, my website, Raiti's Rides on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, I like to point out it's always all original content all the time. I want to give a big, huge thank you to Chris, my cameraman, for making this whole thing go a lot smoother and getting some great angles. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.